Hi guys, my name is Faye and I need a vacation and I think you do too, so let's distract ourselves with some reality TV nonsense. Today we're going to be talking about season 19, episode 13 of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Now I have to say this episode was so much better than the last, I don't know, 4 or 5. I actually really enjoyed myself and I cannot wait to get into it with you guys. The episode opens with Tamra and her husband Eddie. They're prepping for Tamra's spring fling and the topic of Shannon comes up. Tamra says she's okay with her right now and she shares that Shannon sent her a treatment plan that she could forward to her sick friend. Tamra also tells Eddie about Gretchen's allegations. Of course, he's upset as well. And Tamra also tells him, this surprised me, that she's upset at Heather now because apparently she feels like Heather should have called her and checked on her after the whole thing went down. In the next scene, we see Heather and Shannon. They are doing a Japanese art form. Forgive me, I do not remember the name, but the point of it is to look at broken things not as damaged or as trash, but to find a way to make them even more beautiful than they were before. So they sit there with broken, I don't know, vases, whatever, and they re-glue them and they paint them with gold liquid. And might I say they're really bad at it? They look so bad. Like their pieces look ugly. I'm sorry. So they're talking about the altercation. Personally, I would love to know what pop star this is about. I'm just dying to know at this point. They're sitting there wondering how Tamra was able to moan and sing at the same time. Then they start trying it out for themselves. And I have to say, Heather was actually really good at it. So who knows, maybe she has some experience. Shannon does stir the pot a little bit by telling Heather that the other ladies were talking about her comedic efforts and about them not seeing her as a comedian. Now, Shannon, why would you do this? You know how sensitive Heather is. Next, we follow Jen and her sons. They're going to a tattoo studio because Dawson is getting his first tattoo. It's going to be 4/7. Apparently that's Jen's birthday, but that's not the reason for the tattoo. I don't believe he shared with us what his story behind that is. But anyway, they start talking about Dawson going off to the Marines. And Jen is very, very worried because apparently he's going to be doing recon missions. And she just has heard from people that they don't come back the same way. And of course, she doesn't want her son to be forever changed. And she's actually crying in the confessional because she's so worried about him. She's like, how would you do this and then come back and still be the same person and still be whole? So I felt for her. I'm sure that's very, very difficult as a mother, but yeah, I mean, it's what he wants to do. And Jen is supporting him. Jen asks her sons how they feel about the wedding. They say it's weird, but overall they like Ryan. They say he's kind and he treats them well, treats their mother well. They see him as a stepdad, as they should. And Jen shares with us that her ex-husband actually went on a whole smear campaign against Ryan and actively poisoned their children against him. So in the beginning, they really did not like Ryan. I mean, that's wrong. Like, that's wrong of the ex-husband to do. However, I can't judge him on this fully because at the end of the day, she did cheat on him with Ryan. So I don't know if I would be saying nice things about Ryan to my kids. Anyway, Emily and Shane are at home. They ordered pizza. The pizza arrives, and unfortunately, there is no cheese pizza for Luke. So, of course, Emily has to make it a big deal. So, Emily's like,
well, okay, there's no cheese pizza. Do you want it?
And Luke is like, no. So, they decide to give Luke his usual meal. And the usual meal consists of white rice, specifically from Trader Joe's, and he knows if it's not. I feel like most kids have those abilities. Like, I would know for sure, like if my mom went and she bought the wrong frozen pizza, like from a different brand, I would know. Like, or if the cereal was a knockoff, I knew, trust me. Anyway, Luke usually eats white rice from Trader Joe's, and also he eats the banana. And he's fine, like he's sitting there, he's eating his food, they're eating the pizza. And now Emily's in the confessional talking about how He doesn't like to try new foods. He has a very plain diet. And I'm like, girl, I thought you were saying that he doesn't eat. Like, wasn't she sitting there telling us that he is not eating anything? Meanwhile, in the one episode, we see him with McDonald's. Now he's sitting there eating rice. Like, when I tell you, she has to be the biggest, like, drama queen and wannabe victim. Like, honestly, children not having a varied diet is par for the course. I mean, there are children who only eat noodles with tomato sauce. I mean, and I've talked to doctors about this, whatever, you don't care about the backstory, but they said that children's bodies get the nutrients that they need. And like, if Luke needs more to sustain him, he will eat it, you know? Like, it's not this big pathological thing that he only likes rice right now. He'll get over it. Anyway, both sons go to therapy now. Emily's not sure if the other son actually needs it or is just doing it because his brother's doing it, but that's a good thing, I guess. Can never hurt. She does get into Luke's diagnosis. Apparently they're done. She is not sure if he has autism. She said basically he may or may not have it. That's not the main issue, however. The main issue is a learning disability that he has, and he also has ADHD, OCD, anxiety disorder, and dyslexia. And Luke has been struggling in school, apparently, because of these diagnoses and because he needs, you know, extra support. So while it's good that they got that figured out and he's now getting the support he needs, don't like what Emily tells us next. She literally sat there and said, he's in 4th grade and he can't read. And I didn't even know. Oh, Emily. Like, that shocked me. But then I saw on Instagram the other day, she posted that he can read, but he's just not reading at his grade level. You should be really clear. Like I've said countless times, I don't think his medical information should be out there like that anyway. I think he should have his privacy as a child. But if you are going to put things out there, make sure you get it right. Like, don't say he can't read. Like, that can really embarrass him. Really hope that the children and adults in his life are kind and that he's not going to suffer from this. They also talk about Shane's parenting style. Emily says that he's changed and he's more like affectionate now and warmer. Shane says that he just tries to praise Luke and build him up. So they've made some very positive changes, and that makes me happy for them as a family. It's the day of Tamra's spring fling, and we're going to be talking about this for the rest of the recap, so settle in. Tamra has done a beautiful job setting everything up. Like, she has flowers, it's gorgeous. She has a huge charcuterie board for the ladies. Like, it's a table at this point. So points for her. She has cake decorating station set up with a cake artist. I feel so bad for her, but we'll get into that. So yeah, things are looking good. Emily arrives first, and of course they talk about Gretchen. Emily was saying how surprised she was at Gretchen's actions for someone who claims to be so super Christian. The things that she was spreading about Tamra just didn't align for her. And Tamra says that people like that just hide behind the Jesus curtain. And I have to say, she put that so aptly, because a lot of times the people who are the most religious and the most Christians are just the nastiest, most evil people, like, you would not believe. Emily also comes clean to Tamra. She tells her that they were playing kind of a shady game during their sleepover where the question was asked who they trust the least. And she does admit that she, you know, she's trying to get in front of it, but she does admit that she said Tamra's name because she just doesn't trust her with personal information out of fear that if and when she gets mad with her, she's going to start digging or bring it up. Tamra, like, she acts like she's never, like, heard anything like this before. Like she wilts, like she's damn near wilting like a flower. Like, she almost instantly dissolves into her fake non-tears and says she can't believe this, and she hasn't done anything to Emily that would make her distrust her, and she's a good person. She doesn't cheat, lie, or steal. Emily kind of points out how ridiculous Tamra's being. She's like, Tamra, you can't act like you have clean hands all the time, and it's just everyone else who's the villain. Like, you have done things like this. But Tamra is just, she cannot take it. She storms up the stairs. and she leaves Emily and the cake lady alone. And it's so awkward. Emily's like,
well, how's the cake?
and the lady's like,
it's great. I'm just gonna stay here in my buttercream corner.
but it gets worse for this poor woman. Anyway, Gina shows up and Tamra decides to come down the stairs again. And then she just tries to get some more sympathy. She's like,
it just really hurts my feelings because I feel like I support everyone and no one supports me. And
my God, Tamra is so delusional. It's crazy. Like, she really believes the things she's saying. Both Gina and Emily tell her that's not true. And Emily specifically points out that with this whole Gretchen thing, she's been trying to help Tamra to move it in the right direction. So then they start talking about that again. And Gina makes a joke that she actually wishes that Tamra had slept with that pop star. And Tamra's like,
I easily could have.
and I'm like, oh, okay, like, who is this about? And like, that's a kind of a very arrogant thing to say. Anyway, Tamra said that she spoke to this person's wife for like a long time. And then she sent her screenshot of Jen actually following this guy like recently. So they're all surprised that just at the timeline of that happening. Gina says she follows him as well, but just as like a fan and as a millennial. Emily's like,
I don't, because it's not appropriate.
I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, Emily. Like, we all follow stars, like, I'm sure. But again, who is it? The rest of the ladies arrive. Tamara's a little messy, of course. She brings up how Heather told her that Gretchen believes her own lies, and Heather is quick to clarify that no, all she said was that the things Gretchen says to her are her truth. Like, she fully believes them, and she is fully convinced that she is not lying. And then Tamara's like, yeah, that's because she's a sociopath. That's what sociopaths do. And Heather's like,
I never called her a sociopath.
and then Emily jumps in to whack poor Katie really quickly. She's like,
yeah, it's just the same with Katie. She lies so much, like she believes her own lies.
and then Tamra shocks everyone when she shares that she actually spoke to Katie and that they have plans to meet up. When I tell you, Emily is pissed. She's so offended that Tamra would speak to Katie, i.e. film with Katie, after all her careful orchestrated efforts to ice her out of the group and off the show. But Tamra's like, yeah, she's gonna tell me everything that went down with Gretchen. I now believe 100% that Gretchen did tell her that I drugged her and that she had to go to the hospital. I want to find out exactly what Gretchen said, and I want to see any receipts that Katie has, because if she's actually going around telling people this, that's illegal. And Emily wants to know why she would sit with her and believe anything that she has to say. And Tamara's like, well, something she said resonated with me. And personally, I feel like, just like I said, when we saw Gretchen lying in 4K, I was immediately like, okay, Katie was telling the truth. Like, for once, that lady was not lying. And I think Tamra just came to the same conclusion. Emily is really raging now. She says that she just can't believe that Tamra would speak to someone who hurt her and her children. Girl, Katie did not hurt you or your children. It was your ex-nanny who aired out your business. And actually, it was you who ran her mouth about Heather in front of those children, and then that's how that whole thing got started. So enough with blaming Katie. She goes on to say that Katie recorded Shannon without her knowledge, and she heard Gina and called her racist, which Katie also never did, ever. She did not call that lady racist. And then she reminds Tamra how Katie even came at her. And she feels like the only reason why Tamra is now open to speaking with Katie and to listening to anything she has to say is because it fits into her narrative in her war against Gretchen. Yeah, Emily, obviously. But I mean, what do you want us to do with that information? I mean, yes, that's how it works. You iced her out because that fit your narrative and your position in the show, and Tamra is bringing her back in to get out someone she hates. So that's how it works, no? Tamra is really standing her ground, though. I mean, obviously, Tamra is damn near an OG of this show. Like, she's not going to be told, like, who is Emily, by the way? Like, who are you to tell people who they can and can't film with. Like, who made you producer? I mean, are you okay? Emily keeps going though, and she actually threatens Tamra and tells her that she will be very pissed at her if she does talk to Katie. Again, Emily, like, how dare you? How dare you tell another grown woman who she can and cannot speak to? What is wrong with you? Tamra's so funny. She just shuts Emily up by saying, well, let's go decorate some cakes, and she goes inside. In the confessional, Tamra calls out this double standards in this group, and she's 1000% correct. She feels like they all have spoken to Gretchen, filmed with Gretchen, have a friendship with Gretchen even, after everything she's done to Tamra, and Tamra feels like she's done 100 times worse than anything Katie has done to them. And yet that's no problem, but she can't speak to Katie. And again, I've said this before, Katie is being treated like she offed someone, and it's just ridiculous at this point. Heather comes in the kitchen to check on her friend, and Tamra's immediately like,
this will be the last time I ever film after what you effing did to me.
And Heather's like,
me? Like, certainly not I.
And Tamra brings up how Emily told her that they don't trust her in this group, and how hurt she is by her. Heather flips it right on around though. She's like, actually, I'm hurt by you. You completely blew me off in New Orleans. Then when we sat down to talk about it, you weren't nice. You didn't listen to me about my father. And then I just found out from Shannon that you guys were shit talking my career again. Tamra's like,
oh, that's what we said? Okay, well, let's ask the other ladies if that's what I said.
So Heather calls Gina on the stand. Gina already comes in looking guilty, and basically Heather wants to know from Gina what went down, and Gina's immediately like, look, listen, I didn't know you were a comedian. I just don't think you're very funny. I don't think that's your personality. Then Heather freaks out even more. She's like, have you not seen any of my stuff? Like, all I used to do was sitcoms. Like, I used to do stand-up comedy. Do you know how hard that is? And how difficult it is to be in classes with 20-year-olds and to put yourself back out there again, and it's really hard. It's like a whole big thing for her. Like, you can tell that she actually is probably feeling insecure about it. And she even says in her confessional that all she wants is to surround herself with people who support her. And she thought Gina was one of those people. Gina, like, in the beginning, like I said, she keeps trying to say, like, Heather, like, it's like, I support you, whatever you do. I just didn't see you in that, like, comedic light, but, like, it's fine. And then Heather's like,
yeah, I'm sorry if I'm so unfunny to you.
Like, Heather really wants this lady to say that she's the funniest person after Cat Williams. Like, girl, like, I mean, I get it, they shouldn't have laughed, but at the same time, you can't really fault people for their opinions, you know? You just shouldn't take it personally. Because obviously loads of people found you funny, or else you wouldn't have been in comedic projects. They end it by Gina saying that she's sorry, she apologizes for having a chuckle, it wasn't serious, and that she supports her and loves her, and that's fine again. Oh, I also forgot to mention, when Gina and Heather were going at it, Heather was really upset, and Gina was like, oh, you have all this energy for me, like, I get the finger, I get the words, but you can't speak up to Tamra because you're afraid of confrontation with her. So she actually called Heather out. Like I said, I do believe Heather's afraid with her. She's kind of admitted it too. But Heather hits her right back. She's like, I was the only one who confronted her after New Orleans. You were so upset at her, and yet you didn't say a thing. So just wanted to mention that. So the ladies finally begin with the cake decoration. They're doing okay, you know, some cakes are better than others. Emily is doing especially poorly. I think she's doing this on purpose. It's part of her I'm so quirky personality. Like, these ladies are all mothers. Like, you cannot tell me that they haven't at least decorated a birthday cake before, even if they haven't baked it. In my opinion, in the end, Jen's and Gina's cakes are the prettiest, and then the worst is just Emily's. It just looks so bad. And like I said, I think she did that on purpose. As soon as they get done with the cake decorating, Tamra like makes this big announcement that she spoke to the pop star's wife the other day, and it's so funny. As soon as she like gets into it, Gina's like,
I have to use the bathroom.
And Heather's like,
yeah, I have to go pee.
Shannon leaves as well. She's like,
yeah, just keep coming with the evidence.
Like, she's over it. And it's so funny. Like, I feel so bad for this poor lady, but the cake lady had me on the floor. She's like she's literally looking around for a hole to disappear into. She's like,
well, let me see. I'll just make some plates.
And she starts cutting the cake. She's actually red in the face. Like, I feel so bad for her. Like, why didn't they let her leave? Like, they couldn't have told her, listen, ma'am, thank you so much. Your part in this is over. We're gonna, tear each other up. Feel free to see yourself out. Like, why did she have to be there for this? Anyway, Tamra confronts Jen and she wants to know why she would follow him, because apparently she followed him at some crazy time in the AM, like right after the whole Gretchen Tamra thing went down. And Jen's like stuttering. She's like,
cause I heard you guys had a whole situation. Gretchen told me all about it.
And Tamra's like, there is no whole situation. Like, it's all lies. Tamra says in her confessional, she goes, really makes me wonder, like, that she would do that, like, immediately. And personally, as a friend, I wouldn't even think to do that. And Jen, in her confessional, does admit that she was being shady. She followed him because she hoped that he would know who she was and that he would spill some tea, basically. So she did have ulterior motives. What's crazy, though, is even though Jen fully knows that she's in the wrong and that she was being messy, she still tries to, be on her high horse, and she's talking to Tamra like she's crazy for asking her about this. Like, why do you know this? And like, oh, you have it printed out? Like, why would you do this? And I try to be good with you, but then you keep doing shit like this. And I'm like, girl, like, you did something to her. Like, and she's so bad at this gaslighting game. Like, it's ridiculous. And Tamra's like, I'm not doing anything to you. I'm just showing you and I'm asking you, like what's going on? Jen sarcastically laughs and asks her, like, do you feel better now? And then she leaves, and it's just embarrassing. You got caught, just move on. Finally, Jen gives up and she says,
well, I guess I just do things differently than you do.
Tamra explains that it's always like this with Jen. Everything is an act. Like, she does something messy and then she tries to turn it around on her. Jen walks outside because she's so upset. But the other ladies actually question her, like, why did you follow him? Like, why were you doing that at all? And she didn't have a good answer. Heather actually tells Jen that that was really messy, and she goes inside to check on Tamra. Tamra tells Heather that Jen, like, attacked her and that she's done, like, she's quitting. And the ladies are all like, oh, here we go. She's quitting again. Like, they are so annoyed. It reminds me of that season of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with Denise Richards, where whenever she got in a confrontation, she would just go, bravo, bravo, bravo. Like, I'm not doing this. Bravo. Oh, good times. Anyway, Tamra does some more crying without tears. Like, she's being so manipulative, and you can, like, it's funny to me because you can tell that she's used to getting her way with Heather. And in general, she's used to manipulating these ladies with her tears. And she thinks that if she just keeps saying the same thing, like, oh, I'm so hurt because you guys don't trust me. I'm so upset, and crying, the ladies will just roll over and say, oh, I'm so sorry, we didn't mean, or whatever. But they're not doing it. Emily didn't do it, and Gina didn't do it, and now Heather's not doing it, and she cannot take it. Like, it's hilarious. She's like, oh, what you said hurt me so bad. I don't even want to be in this group anymore. Meanwhile, you have Emily outside hating. She's like,
oh, so Heather goes to check on Tamra even though she doesn't trust her.
Girl, you don't trust Tamra either, and you're still up her behind every other scene for this entire season for years. Like, let's be so for real right now. Heather does stand on business for once. She's like, yeah, I can't trust you with my feelings, but as friends, we should be able to talk about this. Then they argue about who doesn't want to hear what the other person has to say. And it's so funny. Like, Tamra keeps trying to win the battle by crying and saying, I'm hurt. Heather's not letting her. She's like,
I'm hurt too.
And then they argue about that. And they're both like,
I heard what you have to say. No, I heard what you have to say.
Tamra switches gears. She stops the fake crying, thank God, and tells Heather that she was very aggressive with her when they went to talk after New Orleans. And Heather disagrees. She's like, I wasn't aggressive with you. But Tamra's like,
yes, you were. Doing the worst effing time of my entire life, and I'm dealing with the worst thing.
And first of all, like, first I was confused when she said that. I was like, what is she talking about? But then, I remembered she's talking about her friend. Like I said, like, she has made her sick friend not only her storyline, but her get out of jail free card. Like, she can just be the nastiest, most evil person, like gutter snipe. But then when anything falls back on her, she's like,
oh, I'm going through it. My friend is sick. This is so difficult. This is such a hard time.
like, are you serious? Heather also accuses Tamra of not listening to her about her dad. And she says, like, how can I be honest with you about my feelings? When you do this, you get so upset and then you tell me I'm wrong. Now Tamra's claiming that Heather doesn't like her. And she's never been anything but nice to Heather. And this is where I totally am checked out. Like, what are you saying? Like, you let a whole gang up, ice out of Heather. Like, what was it, the season before Katie joined? Like, come on, Tamra, seriously. You and this group have all treated each other like crap at varying points in time. And I think even production is incredulous at Tamra's delusions. Like, one of the producers actually asks her if she feels that she's ever done anything to make the ladies not trust her. And the funny thing is, Tamra can't say no. Like, she literally cannot deny it. She's just like,
well, I'm not a liar. I'm not a cheater. I don't steal. I'm a good person, and it just hurts me, and it feels like an attack on my character, and it makes me want to shut down.
This lady cannot stand any type of criticism, no matter how much you couch it, no matter how carefully you choose your words. Like, she won't have it. Like, she will not have it. Anyway, the ladies finally decide to leave, and it's really awkward. And this is where you can tell that it's not scripted television, but it is a television production. Like, because in real life, everyone would have just left immediately, but it's like they say, oh, we're leaving, and like they don't leave. Like, they loiter like on her patio in her backyard. They're like standing around in the kitchen. They say they're leaving, but then they're back again. Like, it's really awkward. Finally, Emily tells production, like, listen, we just have to wrap it up. She's super upset. The kitchen is a mess. Like, we're going. Heather also, like, and then Tamra's back all of a sudden. Like, she had stormed off, then she's back again. And Heather says to her, listen, I know you're really upset right now. Let's just talk about this another time. And Tamra's like,
sure. I hope you have a great season.
And they're like, oh, of course. So she quits again. Heather only sighs. Tamra's like,
I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I hope you're happy with yourself.
So at last the ladies leave. And Shannon's like,
oh, and I'm the unprofessional one.
Not too much, Shannon, because you have had meltdowns on top of meltdowns on top of meltdowns, and for way less. Like, you have went off like several times. Yeah, you've had entire seasons where you were just off the rails, and rumor has it that you don't treat production well. I don't know if this is true or not, but you should just probably stay quiet. Anyway, they leave, and they end up leaving the cakes, and Gina's like, oh, but we worked so hard on these. Okay. And like, I would have taken my cake. Like, I wanted to take the cake, but then I'm a cake person. Anyway, that's where the episode ends. I can't wait to get into the next episode. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I would so love to see some comments, because I really want to know what you guys think about all this. I can't wait to see you guys on our next vacation. Until then, have a blessed day. Bye.